Okay, so last year we took a look at mixed and entire radicals, and now we're going to look at adding and subtracting radicals. So let's take a look at the first question in the notes. The square root of 7 plus the square root of 7 is equal to, well, we have 1 root 7 plus 1 root 7, so it's just 2 root 7, obviously. So, in order for us to add and subtract radicals, we have to have the same index and the same thing underneath the root. Then we can simply add or subtract the coefficients. So there were really ones in front. Check your answer. Type the question in the calculator. Root 7 plus root 7 equals 5.29. 5.29 equals 2 times root 7. The answer that I'm circling is also equal to 5.29. Check your answer. Always, not sometimes. Yeah, so again, English instructions in the notes. If we have like radicals, which means we have the same radicand and the same index, as you can see in the picture, add or subtract the coefficients. So again, 1 root 3 plus 1 root 3. Well, I have 1 root 3 plus 1 root 3. I have like terms, so I can add or subtract the coefficients. 1 plus 1 is 2. Notice I did the thought first that you're supposed to do first. Then you just put the like term beside it. Square root 3. Check the answer on the calculator. Whichever. Okay. 2 root 3 plus 5 root 2. Excuse me, plus 5 root 3. So we have the same thing underneath the root. Do we have the same type of root? Well, yeah, they both have a 2. And we can just add or subtract the coefficients. 7 plus 5 is 2. And, 7 plus 5. 2 plus 5 is 7. And we're working with the root 3. Circle your answer, check your answer. So remember that if I have the square root of 3 plus the square root of 2, well, you can't do that. I mean, the answer is just as is. You could type it into the calculator and give yourself a decimal, but you can't add or subtract them because we didn't have the same thing underneath the root. Furthermore, down the page, for root 2 minus 7 root 2 is equal to, well, 4 minus 7 is negative 3 root 2. Circle your answer. Check your answer on the calculator. Okay, so now that we've seen the basics of adding and subtracting, let's take a look at the square root of 12 plus the square root of 27 plus the square root of 18 plus 5. So, off to the right, we have to simplify root 12. So, as you can see in the notes, I did the prime factorization tree, and I had 2 identical 2's underneath the square root. So 1, 2 comes out. Go back to grade 10 and learn how to simplify these things. But root 12 is just 2 square root 3. Root 27 from the notes is 3 square root 3. Root 18 from the notes is 3 root 2, and then we have a plus 5. So do we have any like terms? Well, yeah. We have 2 root 3's. We have 2 root 3's and 3 root 3's. So we can add the coefficients. We're going to get 5 root 3's, and we're going to carry everything else down. So we have this 3 root 2 and this plus 5. We can't add or subtract those. They're not like terms. Circle your answer. Notice, if we're just going to do one step, yeah, do it to the right. But if we're going to go down, it's going to be prettier to go down and do your side stuff off to the right. So check your answer. Type the question into the calculator. Type the answer into the calculator. Better be the same. Cube roots. Cube root 7 plus cube root 7. Not this again. Well, we have 1 cube root 7 plus 1 cube root 7, so that's equal to 2 cube root 7. Below that, cube root 5 plus cube root 5 equals 2 cube root 5. Just add or subtract the coefficients if they're like terms. Negative 2 cube root 5 minus 6 cube root 5 is just negative 8 cube root 5. And remember, at the bottom, I forgot to circle my answer. At the bottom, the cube root of 3 plus 1 is equal to the cube root of 3 plus 1. We can't add or subtract them. Just like above. The question is the answer. Or, not in the notes, interestingly, let's go down below. The square root of 3 plus the cube root of 3. We can't do either. Well, we actually can do it with exponent laws. Let's do it quickly. X to the 1/2 plus, 3 to the 1/2 plus 3 to the 1/2. Well, what's that? Well, type in your calculator. 3 to the 1/2 or root 3 plus 3 to the 1/2 or root 3 is equal to 3.46. That's a funny looking 0.46. Let's make that better. Is that right? Well, 3 to the 1/2 plus 3 to the 1/2 equals 3.46. And off to the left, root 3 plus, oh my gosh, I did that incorrectly. Erase 3.46, erase the fractional exponent. It was 3 to the 1 over 3. Oh my gosh. Go back to grade 9 exponent laws. I can't believe I just did that. I'm sorry. So we type that into the calculator. This is made up. It's not even in the notes. That's why I'm freestyling sometimes. And the square root of 3 plus 3 to the 1/3 is 3.17. Excuse me. Doing the way on the left and doing the answer that we think it is and getting a decimal. But we can't add or subtract them like we were doing above because they didn't have the same index, the type of root, and the same type of root, the radicand, the thing underneath the root, being the same type of radical. So that's adding and subtracting. We're going to work on multiplying and dividing.